Another very special Harcourts Rata & Co auction here at number 10 Tandarra Crecsent in LALOR. My name is Robert Ozzimo and I proudly represent the company of Harcourts Rata & Co. I'm joined here today by my award-winning team in blue, the best team in the north. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Tim, Sebastian, Mary, Daniel, Maria, and of course Ilia Menkinoski and Menkinoska, who no doubt you've had the great pleasure of meeting throughout the marketing campaign. Buyers, let me share with you now the following announcements which are in place to help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that remain available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I am making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. Now the contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for a 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in 30 to 60 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything's in there, everything is quite clear. So buyers, is with my highest recommendation what we offer for your consideration and competition here today. A wonderful array of infrastructure surrounding us, which provides not only a great lifestyle for you and your family, but also security for you and your family through capital growth. And we have seen enormous capital growth in the surrounding streets in recent years because of all of that infrastructure. Easy walking distance to LALOR station, easy walking distance to shopping, plenty of options when it comes to schools, both primary and secondary, and of course not far away at all from the Western Ring Road, providing simple access all around Melbourne. So in terms of location, it hardly gets more central than 10 Tandarra. Then add to that a great family home, neat as it is, well looked after and maintained as it is, but plenty of scope for you to add your own touches on throughout the years. And when you add that all together, what you get is the ideal package for the first home buyer, the ideal package for the investor, and a great option for you and your family to today bid, to buy, to get the sold sticker up on the board. So buyers, if that is your goal, now is your time to reserve that right. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for number 10 Tandarra? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call, buyers. I'm in your hands. Start me where you like. This is your moment, buyers, your time. We have our instructions. At 680,000, welcome, ma'am. Best of luck here today. 680 the bid. At 680,000, fairly been offered. Perhaps round me off to 7. At $680,000 the bid now. At 680 the bid. At 680 the bid here on my right. There's the bid. There's the competition. The opportunity lays with you all. At 680 now. At 680,000, fairly been offered now. At 680 the bid. Once at 680,000, are we all done? At $680,000 the bid for the second call at 680. Are we done? Finished? Third, final call, 680. At 700,000, welcome and best of luck to you also at 700,000. Can I say 20 now, ma'am? At 700,000, the bid's there, across the road, everyone at 20 got. At 720,000 now, at 720 the bid. At 720,000, got to be 40. At 720, the bid's over there, one bid, not enough here today. At 700, at 50, I have 50 here. You don't mind if I go with the higher number, do you? At 60 now, 760,000, or short of my stride at 60, the same courtesy at 10 if you like. At 760,000, at 760,000, bids behind at 60. At $760,000 a bid now. 65. At 65, at 765, short of my stride once more. 75 now, at 775, at 85, at 785,000, at 95 now, at 795. We are on the market and selling here today at 800,000, at 800 the bid. At 800,000, make absolutely no mistake about it. We're selling here today at 810 now, at 805, I apologise, at 805,000. You can make it 10 if you like, at 805,000. If you've come to buy, you must bid me now or forever hold your peace, because we are on the market. We sell here today at 805,000. The bid's there, keys are there, so this is where it counts. 806 now, down to ones at 7 at 807,000 and 8 now at 808 and 9 at 810 surely at 809 and 10 now got at 811 now at 811,000 bid behind, keys behind, opportunity with you, but we do sell here today at 811 the bid at 811,000. Ma'am, are we done over there? We're done over there. Thank you very much for your participation here today. 811 the bid. The bid's here, the keys are here. They'll remain there if you tell me so, sir. We are on the market and selling. If you've come to buy, bid me now or forever hold your peace. We play for keeps. 811 at 12. At 812 and 13. At 813,000. At 15, sir, was that? 14 at 814 and 15 behind at 815,000 at 16 now at 816 at 17 18 at 818 19 20 if you like at 819,000 bids here, keys here, we sell 819 the bid, first call at 819,000 done at 20 now at $820,000 the bid at 820 the bid, we're selling here today at 21 now, got to dig deep if you want to buy right now at 821 the bid. At 25 and a great bid at that. At 830 now. At 830 the bid. At 830,000, give me a big bid, sir. At 830,000, the bid's there, the keys are there. At 830 now. There's the opportunity with you, but the keys are there. At 830,000.
31.5.
At 31.5 at 831.5 now. 831 and a half and 1.5 at 33 at 833,000. Back against your bid, sir, at 833 the bid. At 833,000, fairly been offered now at 833. We sell here today at 833,000. At 833,000, fairly been offered once at 833. All done.
34. 32.
I'm at 33, Ilia. We're going the wrong way, but I've got 34 now at 834, at 835. At 35, I've got already. You've got to be quick if you want to buy, sir. Be decisive at 835,000. At 835,000, the bid's behind it.
36.5.
At 36.5 now at 836.5.
37
at 37.5 at 837,500 now at 837.5. Bid behind, opportunity again in front at 837,500. We sell once at 837.5. Done. 38.5. At 38.5, I've got, you've got to be quick, sir. 38.500. At 38,500, the bid's here. At 838.5, at 40, 840 now. At 840,000, you finally got one in, sir. At 41. At 841,002 here. At 842, at 43. At 843, the bid. At 843,000, fairly been offered now. At 843, at 45. At 845, the bid, and 7 now. At 847, the bid. At 847,000. Fairly been offered. Haven't heard from you in a while, sir.
48.
At 48 now, at 848 and 9 and 50 beckons now. At 849,000, fairly been offered.
50.
At 50 we got. At 851. At 851 the bid now. At 851,000, you still in it, sir? At 851 the bid, we're definitely done there, ma'am. Thank you once more. At 851 the bid, on the market and selling.
51.5.
At 51.5, short of my stride for you to half in the same courtesy. Brick by brick will go at 52 at 852 now. At 852, cause for optimism, got them down to $5,000 bids. The best response to a small bid is always a big one though. At 852,000, fairly been offered now. At 852 the bid. At 852,000, fairly been offered. Bids there, keys are there. We sell 852 the bid. Once at 852, all done. Second call, 852,000, done and finished. Third, final call, at 52.5.
Another 5.
At 53, at 853, at 853,000, sir, we done?
Yeah.
Definitely done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. 853 the bid. We're on the market. We sell. Bids there. Keys there. Opportunity with you, sir. At $853,000 the bid. Once at 853. Done. Twice, 853,000, done and finished. Third, final call, $853,000 the bid. All done, all finished, all sold and out. What do you say, sir? Wet or dry, you can still buy. I tried that one out this morning. Didn't land there. 850 doesn't count if you're the only one laughing, Dan. 853, we're definitely done, sir. Thank you very much for being here today. At 853, the bid's there, the keys are there, we're on the market, we sell. Once at 853, all done. Twice at 853, done, finished. Third, final call, $853,000 the bid. We're all done, finished, silent out. Definitely done there, sir, done there. Tell me one more time you're out, sir. Definitely done. Thank you so much for your participation and your spirited bidding here today. At 853,000, we are selling, selling, selling. Sold. Congratulations and well bid. Please join me in congratulating our new owners and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts Rata & Co auction. Have a great week.